Imagine this, you're eating reasonably well. You're not overweight, and you feel mostly fine. But deep inside your body, a quiet storm may be brewing, one that affects over 1 in 3 adults without them even knowing. It's called insulin resistance, and it's one of the earliest and most overlooked warning signs of metabolic dysfunction, paving the way for type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. Insulin resistance happens when your cells stop responding properly to insulin, the hormone that helps move sugar from your blood into your cells for energy. As a result, your pancreas starts producing more and more insulin in a desperate attempt to lower your blood sugar. Over time, this can exhaust the pancreas and lead to chronically high blood sugar levels. But here's the part that makes it so dangerous. Most people don't experience any obvious symptoms at first. Dr. Andrew Weil, a pioneer in integrative medicine, has spent decades helping people understand and prevent chronic diseases using both modern science and traditional healing wisdom. And in his view, one of the most powerful tools we have to stop insulin resistance before it starts, or slow it down if it's already begun, is not a medication or a workout plan. It's food. More specifically, foods that lower inflammation throughout the body. That's because chronic low-grade inflammation is now recognized as a major contributor to insulin resistance. The more inflamed your body is, often due to a poor diet, stress, or environmental toxins, the more likely your cells are to ignore insulin's signals. Dr. Well has long emphasized that fighting inflammation through diet is one of the best strategies we have, not just for preventing diabetes, but for living a longer, healthier life overall. In this video, we'll explore the surprising connection between inflammation and insulin resistance. Dive into Dr. Weil's anti-inflammatory principles, and highlight one simple, delicious snack that could make a big difference. It's not some exotic superfood or an expensive supplement. It's something you might already love or learn to love after today. So if you or someone you care about is concerned about blood sugar, diabetes, or just wants to age with more energy and less disease, this might be the most important few minutes you spend today. But first, we need to understand what's really going on in the body when insulin resistance sets in. Understanding insulin resistance. At first glance, insulin resistance can seem like a complicated medical term. But at its core, it's about energy specifically. How your body uses the food you eat to power your cells. Every time you eat a meal, especially one with carbohydrates, your blood sugar levels rise. Your pancreas responds by releasing insulin, which acts like a key, unlocking your cells so glucose can enter and be used for fuel. But with insulin resistance, those locks stop working properly. The cells become less responsive, so the pancreas has to produce even more insulin to get the same result. Over time, this creates a dangerous loop: higher insulin levels, higher blood sugar, and increasing strain on your body. Eventually, the pancreas can't keep up, and blood sugar begins to rise, steadily leading to prediabetes, and, if nothing changes, type 2 diabetes. What causes this breakdown in the system? Several things, and some might surprise you. Yes, a diet high in processed foods, sugar, and unhealthy fats is a big contributor. But so is chronic stress, poor sleep, lack of physical activity, even exposure to certain chemicals in the environment. These all feed into one common underlying problem: inflammation. Inflammation is your body's natural response to injury or infection. But when it becomes chronic, it starts damaging healthy tissue. This kind of long-term, Low-level inflammation interferes with insulin signaling, making it harder for your cells to respond properly. It's like trying to have a conversation in a noisy room. Your cells simply can't hear insulin's message. And here's something many people don't realize: you don't have to be overweight to have insulin resistance. While it's true that excess belly fat increases the risk, thin people can have it too, especially if their diets are poor, their sleep is disrupted, or their stress levels are high. In fact, some studies show that nearly 1 in 5 lean individuals may have some degree of insulin resistance. Blood tests can reveal early warning signs, such as elevated fasting insulin, triglycerides, or a higher than ideal waist-to-hip ratio. But many doctors don't routinely check for these, which is why this condition often goes undiagnosed until more serious problems arise. Dr. Andrew Weil stresses that if we want to get ahead of this epidemic, we need to start paying attention not just to sugar, but to inflammation and how we eat every day. So what can we do about it? The answer might be simpler than you think. And it starts with shifting the way we think about food. In the next section, we'll explore Dr. Weil's unique approach to nutrition and how it can help calm inflammation and restore your body's sensitivity to insulin, one bite at a time. Dr. Weil's anti-inflammatory diet principles. Dr. Andrew Weil didn't just popularize the term anti-inflammatory diet. He built an entire framework around it. And it's more than just a trendy eating plan. It's a long-term strategy for reducing your risk of chronic diseases, including insulin resistance, by choosing foods that naturally calm inflammation rather than fuel it. At the heart of this approach is a simple idea. Food isn't just calories or fuel. It's information. Every bite you take sends signals to your body, either helping it to heal and function well, or pushing it further into stress and imbalance. Dr. Weil's anti-inflammatory diet is designed to send the right signals, every day. So what does this actually look like? First, it means putting whole, minimally processed foods front and center. Think colorful vegetables, fresh fruits, legumes, whole grains like quinoa and oats, and healthy fats from nuts, seeds, and olive oil. These foods are rich in fiber, antioxidants, and plant compounds that soothe inflammation at the cellular level. Second, it means cutting way back on foods that provoke inflammation. These include refined carbohydrates like white bread and pastries, deep-fried items, processed meats, and sugary drinks. Not only do these foods spike blood sugar, they also lead to the release of inflammatory chemicals in the body. Over time, this constant dietary stress wears down your cell's ability to respond to insulin. Dr. Weil also emphasizes the importance of healthy fats, especially omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish like salmon and sardines, flax seeds, and walnuts. These fats have been shown to lower markers of inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity. Meanwhile, omega-6 fats from processed seed oils, like corn and soybean oil, can do the opposite when consumed in excess. One thing that makes Dr. Weil's approach stand out is his emphasis on culinary herbs and spices, not just for flavor, but for their healing properties. Turmeric, garlic, ginger, and cinnamon all have powerful anti-inflammatory effects and have been studied for their benefits in blood sugar control. And while many diets focus on what to eliminate, Dr. Weil's philosophy is about abundance. You're encouraged to eat a wide variety of foods, especially those with bright colors, because they contain different types of antioxidants and phytochemicals. The goal isn't just to avoid disease, it's to build vibrant, resilient health. But how do these principles translate into something you can actually snack on? Something simple, satisfying, and effective. That's what we'll explore next. Because sometimes, one smart snack choice, especially the one Dr. often recommends, can be the difference between spiking inflammation or calming it down. The power of anti-inflammatory snacks. Most of us don't think much about snacks. They're just something we grab between meals, often mindlessly. But according to Dr. Andrew Weil, these little food choices, especially when repeated daily, can quietly shape the course of our health. And when chosen wisely, they can actually reduce inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity. Let's start with one of the most powerful, proven anti-inflammatory snack groups: nuts. Almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and especially cashews are not only rich in healthy fats and fiber, they also contain compounds that help stabilize blood sugar and improve how cells respond to insulin. One study found that people who consumed a handful of nuts each day had significantly lower levels of inflammation markers and better insulin control compared to those who didn't. Walnuts, in particular, are high in alpha-linolenic acid ALA, a plant-based omega-3 that supports cardiovascular and metabolic health. But here's a snack most people wouldn't expect: dark chocolate specifically. Chocolate with 70% or more cocoa content. Dr. Weil often recommends this not just for its satisfying taste, but for its health benefits. Cocoa is packed with flavonoids, plant compounds that reduce oxidative stress and inflammation. Several studies show that moderate intake of dark chocolate can improve insulin sensitivity and lower blood pressure. The key is moderation. Just 1 or 2 squares can be enough, and it must be high-quality dark chocolate with minimal added sugar. Then there's a spicy, sweet snack with ancient roots: crystallized ginger. While it does contain some sugar, when eaten in small amounts, the benefits of ginger can outweigh the downside. Ginger has been used for centuries as an anti-inflammatory remedy. It works by inhibiting key pathways in the body that produce inflammatory compounds. For people with insulin resistance, ginger may also help improve fasting blood sugar levels and reduce insulin levels. A slice or two after a meal can aid digestion and provide a flavorful anti-inflammatory kick. What makes these snacks stand out is not just their health properties, but how easy they are to include in your daily routine. They don't require meal prep. They don't demand a special diet. They're simply better choices that, over time, can help calm the internal fire that fuels insulin resistance. And here's a tip: combining these snacks can amplify their effects. A small bowl with a few walnuts, a square of dark chocolate, and a thin slice of crystallized ginger. Not only tastes indulgent, it supports your metabolic health in 3 distinct ways. You're balancing blood sugar, fighting inflammation, and satisfying cravings without causing harm. But of course, even healthy snacks can backfire if eaten in large amounts or at the wrong times. In the next section, we'll talk about how to incorporate these into your life in a smart, sustainable way, so the benefits add up without the downsides. Incorporating these snacks into daily life. It's one thing to know which foods are healthy. It's another to make them a consistent part of your life, especially when you're juggling work, family, or the ups and downs of aging. That's why Dr. Andrew Weil doesn't just recommend certain snacks. He offers a realistic, gentle approach to building better habits that last. Let's start with how much. When it comes to anti-inflammatory snacking, more isn't always better. The key is portion control. For nuts, a small handful, about 1 ounce or 28 grams, is ideal. That's roughly 14 walnut halves or 24 almonds. More than that, and you could be taking in too many calories and fats, even if they're the healthy kind. With dark chocolate, the ideal serving is 1 or 2 small squares, about 10 to 20 grams, preferably after a meal. Look for chocolate that's at least 70% cocoa, and check the label to avoid brands that sneak in excess sugar or unhealthy oils. Crystallized ginger, because it is typically sweetened, should be kept to a minimum. A piece the size of your thumb or around 5 grams is often enough to deliver the digestive and anti-inflammatory benefits without adding too much sugar to your diet. Now let's talk timing. The best time to enjoy these snacks is either mid-morning or mid-afternoon, especially when you're feeling low energy, or as a small dessert after a balanced meal. Eating them on an empty stomach might spike your blood sugar, especially if combined with sugary drinks or other carbs. But when paired with fiber or protein, like a few nuts or a slice of fruit, they become much more metabolically friendly. Quality matters too. Choose raw or dry roasted, unsalted nuts whenever possible. For chocolate, go for products with minimal ingredients, ideally just cocoa mass, cocoa butter, and a small amount of cane sugar. With ginger, opt for organic brands that use real ginger root and avoid artificial additives. One of Dr. Weil's top tips is to make these snacks visible and convenient. Keep a small jar of almonds or walnuts on your kitchen counter. Carry a snack-sized bar of dark chocolate in your bag, or stash a few ginger pieces in a tin at your desk. When healthy options are easy to grab, you're less likely to reach for chips or cookies. Finally, turn snacking into a mindful ritual. Sit down, take a few deep breaths, and actually enjoy what you're eating. Chew slowly. Notice the textures and flavors. This not only improves digestion, it helps you feel satisfied with less. These small adjustments, what you snack on, how much, and when, can quietly reshape your metabolism and reduce your risk of insulin resistance. But there's more you can do beyond food alone. In the next section, we'll explore complementary lifestyle changes that work hand in hand with your snack choices to further protect your insulin sensitivity and reduce chronic inflammation. While anti-inflammatory snacks are a powerful tool in the fight against insulin resistance, they're most effective when combined with other simple lifestyle habits. According to Dr. Andrew Weil and many metabolic health experts, your daily routine plays a huge role in whether your body becomes more sensitive to insulin or more resistant to it. Let's begin with movement. You don't have to run marathons or lift heavy weights. Just consistent, moderate activity like walking, gardening, dancing, or yoga can make a remarkable difference. Exercise helps shuttle glucose into your muscles where it's used for energy, lowering your blood sugar and reducing the demand for insulin. Even a 10-minute walk after meals can significantly improve how your body handles carbohydrates. Next is stress, and this is a big one. Chronic stress raises levels of cortisol, a hormone that makes your body more resistant to insulin. It's like your body gets stuck in survival mode, holding onto sugar and fat. Dr. Will emphasizes the power of breathwork, meditation, and time in nature to bring the body back into balance. Something as simple as 5 minutes of deep, slow breathing every morning can calm inflammation and reduce insulin resistance over time. Sleep is another cornerstone. Research shows that just one night of poor sleep can make your cells temporarily more insulin resistant. Over time, Irregular sleep patterns can raise your risk for diabetes, even if your diet is relatively healthy. Dr. Weil recommends aiming for 7 to 8 hours of high-quality sleep per night, ideally going to bed and waking up at the same time each day. Practices like turning off screens an hour before bed, keeping your room cool and dark, and using relaxation techniques can make a big difference. Then, there's social connection. You might not think of relationships as part of your health plan, but loneliness and isolation are linked to higher levels of inflammation and poor metabolic outcomes. Regular contact with friends, family, or community, whether in person or virtually, can lower stress, improve mood, and support healthier habits overall. Lastly, be proactive about monitoring your health. You don't need a diagnosis to take action. Ask your doctor to check markers like fasting insulin, HOMA-IR, triglyceride to HDL ratio, and waist circumference, even if your blood sugar is normal. These can reveal early signs of insulin resistance that are often missed in routine checkups. Dr. Weil's approach isn't about perfection. It's about stacking small wins. A healthy snack here, a walk there, a mindful breath, a good night's sleep. When you combine these gentle changes, they create a powerful synergy that helps restore balance in the body. Now, let's bring it all together. So much of modern illness begins with silent, subtle shifts inside the body, ones we often don't see or feel until it's too late. Insulin resistance is one of those shifts. But here's the hopeful part: just as it develops gradually, it can also be reversed gradually with steady, thoughtful changes that support the body's natural balance. Dr. Andrew Weil reminds us that food is far more than sustenance. It's a form of communication. Every snack, every meal, is a message you send to your body. Will you send a message of stress and inflammation? Or will you send a message of healing? Simple choices like swapping out sugary snacks for a handful of almonds, a square of dark chocolate, or a slice of ginger aren't just good for your taste buds. They're part of a much larger shift, one that lowers inflammation, stabilizes blood sugar, and helps your cells listen to insulin again. When paired with daily movement, restful sleep, mindful breathing, and meaningful connection, these food choices become even more powerful. They help your body return to its natural rhythm, a rhythm that protects you from disease and helps you age with more energy, clarity, and confidence. You don't need a complete overhaul. You don't need to count every calorie or eliminate all your favorite foods. What you need is consistency and the willingness to make a few small but intentional decisions every day. So here's your challenge. This week, pick one anti-inflammatory snack and make it part of your daily routine. Maybe it's a few walnuts mid-afternoon. Maybe it's swapping dessert for a square of dark chocolate. Maybe it's keeping a few ginger slices in your bag for when cravings hit. Start there. Let your body feel the difference. Then build from it. And if you found this helpful, share it. Someone you love might be dealing with silent insulin resistance right now, and your act of sharing could help them catch it early and make a change. Because good health doesn't start in a clinic. It starts in your kitchen, in your breath, in your next walk, in your next bite. You have the power to turn the tide one choice at a time.